Once upon a time, there was a small island located off the coast of England somewhere. It was called the Island of Sodor. And on this island, there was a small railway known as the Northwestern Railway. And on the Northwestern Railway, there was a man named Sir Stephen Hat. Some called him Sir Topham Hatt for short, while most people called him by his professional name, the Fat Controller. And the Fat Controller had one fantastical dream. And that dream was to own his own railway, full of clean stations, beautiful sights, sounds, and scenery, that would not only live with him, but would have a positive influence on the world forever. So he started off his dream by purchasing his first 2 engines. Their names were Thomas and James. James was a big, strong tank-dirt engine covered in a lovely livery of red paint and gold stripes. He was also a mixed traffic engine, meaning that he could pull coaches or trucks quite easily. Even so, the Fat Controller gave James the responsibility of pulling the express, a big, heavy, and fast train that carried passengers to and from the railway. He would also pull big and heavy goods trains across the island so that merchandise could be shipped to and from the island in order to gain profit. Thomas was a tank engine who mainly worked at the big station. He was a cheeky little engine who mainly spent his day shunting coaches and trucks at the big station for James to take them out on journeys along the main line. Thomas the Tank Engine is very grateful for his life on the railway. However, he sometimes wishes that he was somewhere else. He wanted to go out of his station yard and see the world. This is a story that tells you how he did it. I hope you will enjoy it. Thomas the Tank Engine wouldn't stop being a nuisance. Time after time he would complain to his driver and fireman about how desperately he wanted to go out on the main line. I spend my time pushing and pulling coaches and trucks about just so that James gets to go out on the main line with them. Why can't I go out on the main line? You are still a young engine, Thomas, said his driver. You have a lot to learn about when it comes to pulling trains. It's not easy work. Nonsense! I could pull the express with my eyes closed. Cheer up. You're just in a bad mood. Can't blame you. The trucks have been quite troublesome today lately. Why don't I give you a good hose down? That'll make you feel much better. Thomas agreed, but rather unfortunately, that did not help the case. For the rest of the day, Thomas continued to complain. I'm tired of pushing coaches. I want to see the world. James the red engine never really took much notice, but Thomas was a little engine with a long tongue. That night, Thomas the tank engine puffed into the sheds. James was having a rest, but he was soon rudely woken up. "It's not fair," grumbled Thomas. What isn't fair? Ever since I came to this railway, I have been doing nothing but shunting goods trains and coaches. I deserve a chance to pull the express, or at least a chance to go out on the main line every once in a while. Huh, silly little engine, you're too impatient, immature, and inexperienced. If the Fat Controller were to give you such a huge responsibility as to pull the express, then you'd be sure to mess things up. After all, it's why he brought me to the railway. I'm big, I'm strong, and most of all, I work the hardest. Rubbish! If there's anyone who works hard on this good-for-nothing railway, it's me. You just go about yourself bragging like you're the engine of the century. James was very cross. He did not appreciate being spoken to like that. That's because an engine like me has something to brag about. I'm a fine, splendid red engine, a pleasant sight to all, and the passengers will agree. They will not. They will too. 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 They will not. Silence! Shouted Thomas's driver. He was rather cross. I have had enough. For goodness sakes, it's 12 o'clock in the morning. Why don't you two get some sleep? But I know. If you guys don't shut up right now and get some sleep, then not only are you going to have to deal with a very angry driver, but you're also going to have to deal with a very angry Fat Controller. You both know full well that tired engines aren't useful engines. And the driver left, leaving both Thomas and James to go crossly to sleep. The next morning, Thomas shunted James's express coaches onto the platform. James soon came and buffered up to the front of the train. Aren't you going to say something to me? Asked Thomas crossly. Oh, what a beautiful day it is, said James, completely ignoring Thomas's question. What, you're not going to say anything to me? Huh? Oh, yes, of course. Well, what was it going to be? Go away! You're spoiling my image. Huh, said Thomas, and he puffed away in a huff.